To be able to recognize that life is all about how you look at it. Which lens are you looking from? Are you looking from the positive lens or are you looking from a negative lens when you see shit? And of course, if you keep looking at negative shit, you're going to keep getting negative shit. Whatever you plant is going to come the fuck out.
Roll me, Mak.
Joys of life to you? The joys of life to me, number one is waking up, getting to the rituals so that I get in the mindset that I want to do shit today. Because if I didn't, I probably wouldn't do shit. Like depression would literally take over my entire mind and body, essentially my soul at some point in time. But I'd say the joys of life are being able to listen to my studies in the morning to start the day, right? Whatever day it is, like I got a schedule or whatever I stick with so that I'm not trying to listen to everything all at once. So I stick to particular subjects on specific days. But being able to knock those out and knowing that I did it, like the little things, like planning that this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna plan, we gave ourselves homework, you know? So when I do get to do it, and I finish it and I absorb the information from it and like I apply it to my life, I feel accomplished. And when I feel accomplished, I feel a little bit more confident about the things that I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Other joys in life to me is those times when I forget why I'm doing what I'm doing. I lose sight of my why. I get caught up in distractions. I get caught up in just being discouraged. I get caught up in like just shit that takes you off course. And then someone, whether you know them or you don't know them, says something that you said that inspired them to do what they did. And it's like, oh yeah, that's right. This shit isn't about me. This is about all of us. You know what I mean? Trying to be better, trying to go forth and prosper, and all the motivational things that we have to do in order to achieve the things that we want to achieve, the goals we want to achieve. I mean, coming from not hearing all the greatest motivation all the time when, you know, you were growing up, and people looking at things from a negative standpoint versus having that positive mindset on things. Not denial, not delusional anymore. There's a point in time where I just would refuse to acknowledge anything negative, but to be able to recognize that life is all about how you look at it. Which lens are you looking from? Are you looking from the positive lens, or are you looking from a negative lens when you see shit? And of course, if you keep looking at negative shit, you're gonna keep getting negative shit. Whatever you plant is gonna come the fuck out. So focusing on the positive, like that's a joy to me. Like every Monday, listening to Earl Nightingale's The Strangest Secret. Every Monday I start the week off with listening to The Strangest Secret. It's become a ritual every Monday morning when I wake up. No jokes, like no hesitation, just straight, let's get to it. And the things that he talks about, just allowing that to plant in the mind so that I carry that same mindset when I walk around. I mean, like the little joys I get where I'll see something nostalgic on TikTok, right? Whenever I do have those TikTok rabbit holes, and then it'll talk about like in the 90s, like if like the kids today won't know about these 90s restaurants or these 90s food products or something. And it's like, yep, I remember that. I remember trying to get my mom to buy me some Dunkaroos, to buy fruit by the foot, to buy fruit roll-ups, the Ninja Turtle fruit snacks. The little, like those little things be like, man, I felt a sense of joy in those moments. That's, to me, is like the joys of life. Like remembering a time where you weren't aware of things. Like when ignorance was bliss and you just took life as a happy place. And still is, you know, it's just, there were things that happened along the way that's made this shit kind of hazy, but you just have to clear your mind. And that's the struggle. How do you clear your mind? Some of us try different things. Some of us get affected by people that, you know, negative people. Misery loves company. The unhappy and unlucky. Avoid them motherfuckers like nobody's business, because it'll wear off on you eventually. You listen to a person complain, you're gonna become the next person to complain. Just like stay into yourself. But like the little joys, other joys I get is when I find a deal on Amazon on some fashion or something like that. Like those are, like to me, those are little joys. Or like when my daughter will send me like social media links, whether that be TikTok. Most of the time it's TikTok, or what is at least it's what it's been lately. And it'll be something that she feels like I would want to see. You know, so like usually like Michael Jackson related. But little joys like that, you know, I mean, I don't really care about social media, more the connection that my daughter is attempting to have with me in those little moments. You know what I'm saying? Like those little shits that we can kind of, you know, relate to because we both have a love for Michael Jackson. Other little joys I get is when I get in a long conversation that was meant to be like only 3 minutes and it turns into an hour with like my best friend. Those little things, you know, we'll just get to talking. Sometimes we'll talk about shit from the past. Sometimes we'll talk about things we got going on in our current life. We'll talk about things that us as men would go through and not really feeling like we're able to just share that outwardly, you know what I'm saying, with just the public. And then even that more, like the WhatsApp group that I have with some of the fellas. Like when we get to talking about, we'll talk about music, we'll talk about women, we'll talk about, and by women I mean like celebrity women, girls we used to like when we were in, you know, like kids and shit in the 90s. Nia Long, Vivica Fox, Kenya Moore, you know what I'm saying, Topanga, you know what I mean, Zaria from the Parenthood. Like just those girls that were popular when we were growing up. We'll kind of talk about that. I'm like, man, you know, just typical guy shit. You feel me? And then get on the subject of music. You can never, that's a joy to me. The joy to me is music trivia. I love to use my musical ego and prove that I know music like nobody's business. You know, when it comes to funk, R&B, maybe some hip hop. Like I'm not the greatest hip hop historian, especially after 2010. Anything from like my childhood, like probably from 1984 till about 2007 I was pretty good with music trivia when it comes to hip hop. R&B, we can go back as far as you want to go. You don't want to see me. That's what I'll say. So like those joys of like getting in a music debate, that's a joy that I get. I get a joy in getting into a sports debate. I love when someone wants to talk football with me, especially for the simple fact that I follow football like that. And I would, you know, again, talking like shit that I used to care about a lot, like Ninja Turtles, you know, we talk about the history of the movies and why those movies, some like as great as we love them, they weren't the greatest movies. And I feel that a lot about the 80s and shit. Like a lot of the 80s movies were, to me, horrible in production, but they're just classic, you know? And don't get me wrong, there's some, like Top Gun is definitely a movie like shit. They put in that work, you know, but there's a lot of movies that came out in the 80s due to like I said, the technology that they had back then, it was hitting. But on some real shit, like replayability, watching them and like just straight up production and creativity, it ain't, you know, it's a lot of them that's not really like that. You feel me? It's a lot of them not really like that. In my opinion, that is. But like what other joy? Oh yeah, the joys I get of just being in silence, right? Especially like if I'm at work. If I'm at work and everybody is in there, is like talking loud or whatever, and then it's like everybody leaves for the day and I gotta work the night. When it gets pure silent, I just take it in, you know, and I'm able to clear my mind. I've learned to embrace silence in these days. Other joys I get is sitting by the beach and letting Oceana just remove all negative energy. And to me, that's what she does. It restores your soul. I truly enjoy having my soul restored at the beach and sitting by the beach, you know, and with a book, with a drink, with some music, you know, with friends, whatever it is. And what it does is that restoration. I don't need to be doing nothing. Just sit. That's it. Just take it in. But like, there's so many joys that I get. Truly, there's a lot of joys I get. Like, again, the joy of watching the last 30 minutes of Avengers Endgame. That's definitely a joy. Like, it was a very well done scene. You know, just the fight scene itself is like, it's just super dope to me. The last 30 minutes of Endgame. Other joys I get is when I'm making music, when I'm producing music and whatnot, and something that I did accidental becomes like a catchy ass tune, and it's like, wow, I did not mean to do that, but that shit turned out pretty good. Or like when I'm editing one of these shows, and then I place something somewhere, and this has happened more than once, you know, just to show you how God and the universe works, where I will place one of the, like the little pictures or whatever that plays during the shows, and it'll be right where it needs to be. Like, just playing it, whatever's being said goes right with the picture. And I didn't mean to do that. You know, I just look at that as being connected with the universe and being very grateful for that. But I said a lot of joys that, like the joys of my life. And that's it, really. Yeah, like there's those and plenty more, I'm sure. But those are some of the joys in my life. To me. Whose career would you have wanted to see had they not died? Aaliyah. Yes, baby girl, as Timberland and Missy and all them used to call her. But Aaliyah. And I remember being 8 years old the first time seeing Back and Forth's video with the world's greatest babysitter, R. Kelly. No pun intended. But like, R. Kelly, he had just came out, right? He left public announcement. He was on his own. And then he brings in this 15-year-old girl, Aaliyah, and she has a song called, you know, it's like Back and Forth. and she wearing baggy jeans because that's what was going on at the time. Very masculine look that was popping. Escape did it. The Brat definitely does it. Still does it. But she's still bad too though. Like seeing the Brat in that video she did, that's what I'm looking for. Yeah. The Brat was like that. the Brat was like that. I don't give a fuck. She dressed like fucking crisscross all she fucking want. When she throw on, yeah, when she's still packing that wagon. She's still packing that motherfucking wagon under them jeans. But like Aaliyah did the video, and then she did At Your Best, which is a cover of Isley Brothers joint. And then going into middle school, she did one of the greatest albums ever, One in a Million. And she teamed up with two of the greatest from our area, Virginia, Missy and Timberland, right? Being from Hampton Roads. And she was pretty much the tale of, we grew up with her. A lot of us, that would listen to R&B and pop, because Aaliyah was a crossover artist. Like, we grew up with her. Like, girls going through breakups, listen to the One I Gave My Heart To on repeat. Listening to One in a Million, going to skating rinks, waiting for that song to come on so you can do slow, like a couple skate to One in a Million, or just go out there by yourself. But she had a lot going for her. Very pretty young lady, you know what I mean? I say young lady, she's 6 years older than me. So, like, I just remember right when she got taken out was when she started to get like Romeo Must Die. That was 9th grade. She got the Queen of the Damned. That was right before she died. And then she came out with the album self-titled, Aaliyah, with More Than a Woman. I mean, the whole album is dope. And to me, the best song off of that album is It's Whatever by Aaliyah. It's produced by Tank, actually, R&B singer Tank. And I recommend that people like listen to It's Whatever by Aaliyah. It is one of the greatest R&B songs to me. And her voice is timeless. And she was just on her way. She really was. She really was on her way to do a lot of great things. And I would equate that same feeling for her on a U.S. level to that of Selena. And watching, I didn't know shit about Selena until that movie. Because of J-Lo. And that ass. And those thighs. But I digress. But like, for real, like I spent a whole fucking summer at my grandma's house, and then I would go to my cousin Dougie's house, and it was a girl that he knew downstairs, and we would go to her house and literally watch Selena on fucking Peep, yo. Like, we watched Selena so much, like, just do the washing machine and anything for Salinas, and like would just recite that fucking movie like from beginning to end. It was, like I said, it was like seeing somebody that was well on their way, right? Like Selena's path, Aaliyah's path, all going, and literally I think they died the same age. I think they died at 22, which is creepy as shit as well in itself. But if you're a conspiracy theory like myself, it's not too creepy. You like to connect dots that probably don't connect, but damn it, I connected these. But like, they were both on their way to becoming, I mean, like, I'm talking about major stars. Back when being a star meant something, you know, not like today's where anybody can be a star, TikTok, YouTube. And yeah, I know I'm trying to become like a YouTube and Facebook fucking star, but fuck y'all, you get what I'm saying. It's like trying to, but like ones that really just like grind. You know what I'm saying? Like on talent, on having a gift, having to perform is really what I'm saying. Not so much the social media stars, but legitimate entertainers that worked on their craft from a young age. Her being on Star Search, you know, and then moving her way up, becoming a singer, hooking up with the likes of an R. Kelly, put her in a position to really thrive, and then work with Missy and Timberland the way that she did. And it was just, I mean, there was a lot of paths, journeys that we got to experience coming up, if you were born, like I say, I'll date myself, if you were born in like 85 and on, you were able to see like, you're growing up with, we're little kids, we're looking at Aaliyah. She's like a big, like she's like big sister shit. Baggy clothes, Tommy Hilfiger shit. The war attire for the, If Your Girl Only Knew video. Like, just being everywhere. Her and Missy and Timberland hooking up for Up Jumps the Boogie. And we just thought they were the fucking coolest, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like, fashion-wise, no, it's not even close. Not even close. Baby girl she had it. She had it. And voice and in interviews. And did interviews well, too. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was really being groomed for stardom. And then I'll never forget when she passed. My uncle, who actually is gone now, called me and my cousin Richard. And we're laying there, right? Because everybody's in town for our family reunion. This is August of 2001. And my uncle calls us, Uncle Kevin calls us, God rest his soul. He calls Richard and he's like, Aaliyah died. And us, we're like, man, get the fuck out of here. I don't believe that shit. And, it's a Sunday morning. I remember the flight happened, the plane crash happened Saturday night. And then he called us like Sunday morning, like, yo, Aaliyah died. And then we checked, like, I think we tried to check the internet or we checked the TV, and sure enough, man. And it was like, who else was on that plane? And Missy and Tim, because I know that they were, they used to rock together. But Missy and Timberland was not on the plane. And, it was like, wow, damn, she's really gone. I mean, because her shit was everywhere at the time. And, it's just weird. It's just a weird feeling. Like, I look at that, like, I would compare it to, like, the Migos being at the height they were, then Takeoff passing at the height of their career. And literally, like, you just seen them together, right? It was just, I don't know, like I said, you had to be there to really understand it, but it was tough, man. But I really did want to see what was going to become of her. And you got a lot of conspiracy theories believing that it, like Beyonce took her career and what have you. But I honestly believe that, yeah, if she was here, she probably would have done the likes of what Aaliyah what Beyonce would have done, just being in movies and doing various different things. But she had it, man. Like, I'm literally from like age 14 till she passed. She made impact everywhere she went. Her music is timeless. You can still listen to Aaliyah's music right now and enjoy it. Are You That Somebody? I mean, Timberland's production mixed with her voice. They got plenty of records like that. But Aaliyah was, I really wanted to see where she was going to go with her career, from Come Back in One Piece with DMX, and I was a very big DMX fan. And then for us to watch the Missing You video, and it's a tribute to her, and it's like, fuck. And then Missy did the joint Takeaway, which originally I don't think was about her, but maybe it was. But like, doing Takeaway, the song Takeaway, to me is still one of the greatest. That's one of the greatest R&B songs that I've ever heard too. And it's tough, man, to, like I said, being from our area, and Aaliyah wasn't from our area, she was always with Missy and Timberland. So we would always put them together, and then riding the bus and always hearing Aaliyah songs on the radio. And that's what the girls wanted to hear. So whatever the girls wanted to hear, that's what the fellas wanted to hear, So, like, when she died, a part of us felt like, our childhood died with her. And I don't know, it's, like I said, it's tough, because a few of us have lost friends in high school, like through whatever situation, whether that be a burning house, whether that be through overdose, car accidents, So it was like one of your classmates passed away, right? That you knew, popular classmate, a popular classmate, but wanting to see what her career would have been like if she was still here. Truly, like I said, truly a gift to have witnessed her career. If you get a chance, listen to her catalog through Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, whatever it is. Watch the creativity in the music videos. The video for 4-Page Letter, the video for Are You That Somebody, the video for At Your Best, the video for One in a Million, the video for Rock the Boat, the video for More Than a Woman, the video for We Need a Resolution with the snake. She was bad. She looked bad on that video. And then the video for Come Back in One Piece, and even the other ones that she was, guest stars on, like, what did you call that shit? Up Jumps the Boogie. You know what I'm saying? Just watch her. Just always just so beautiful. Very beautiful. And seemed like a beautiful person too. Just a gorgeous smile. Light up her whole room. Could dress her ass off. It just seemed like we don't know these motherfuckers. We only know her from music, but she definitely seemed like in interviews, like, she was like a kind individual. And people speak highly of her. So if there was one career that, had they not passed, that I would like to see, it would have been Aaliyah. What childhood routines, habits did you have? Well, I could not use the bathroom, and by that I mean number 2, and I could not shower without music of some sort. That was pure routine. I would not wash dishes without music. I would not, like I said, use the bathroom without music. I would not shower without music. And if it wasn't music, it was music videos. Most of my childhood summers were watching repeat of Cedar's World, Rap City, 106 in Park, VH1, MTV Jams, MTV, TRL. That was life, because you were watching the hottest song that was out, so it made you look cool in school, but you also got to see the latest fashion. And fashion was so different. Late 90s and early 2000s. Wearing your jersey backwards like Nelly did. I did that for sure. I still have the pictures of me in high school with jersey on backwards and a leather jacket. Even had a fro at the time. A little mini fro. Like a little Michael from Good Times fro. Not the Michael Jackson fro. But still had a little fro, and everything was about music. I mean, I look at my routines then. I had to have, like, I would play, if I took a shower by 9 o'clock, I played Z104 because they would do the top 5 at 9 or top 9 at 9 or some shit like that. And they would just run through whatever the hottest songs were. 103 Jams, the Buddha Brothers, they would do the top 8 at 8 or top 10 at 8, or top 5, some top shit for at 8 o'clock. Like the top 10, it was a top 10 song. I believe it was a top 10 song. Somebody that grew up with us in Virginia probably correct me if it's fucked up, but top 10 songs for Z10, like I said, for Z104 and 103 Jams. So I would say that my childhood routines that I can remember were like, whenever I took a shit, I was listening to music. Whenever I took a shower, I was listening to music. Whenever I was washing dishes, I was listening to music. Whenever I was cutting grass, I was listening to music. And then on those summers when I had to watch my brother, he stayed upstairs on the computer playing Roller Coaster Tycoon, and I was downstairs. What was I watching? Music videos. But all in all, music was life. I couldn't do shit without music. How do you feel about a woman wanting to take on the hobbies you love to do to show love? I don't want you to do that shit for me. Honestly, I'm not really much a fan of that. I don't want you to become me to love me. I would prefer that I learn you. Don't get me wrong. There's things that I'll do that obviously you have an interest for. Something like that. They say you want to go see like a movie's coming out. You know, I want to see whatever movie's out. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'll take that to account that you said that. And then I'll create. But I'm not going to ask you if you want to go see this movie. That's not happening. I'm going to create this shit. we're just going to do it. That's just what it's going to be. But as far as like a woman trying to get into like wanting to do podcasting because I'm doing it, don't do that shit. Because it's not necessary. You don't have to do that to obtain my love, and not in that sense. You don't have to learn to like Ninja Turtles the way I did when I was a kid, because I don't feel the same way as I did when I was a kid. I've outgrown it. I wanted to become like a Niners fan because I am a Niners fan. Yeah, sure. You want to watch the game and wear like some shit that like with some Niners gear, and you don't really watch sports, yeah, that's permissible, that's doable. But acting like a super fucking Niner fan, like wearing the Viking hats and whatever the fuck like the crazy fans do at the stadium just to show that you love me, no. I ain't for that, you know what I'm saying? It ain't that deep. I don't have that attachment to material things as much as I once did before. And that shit to me, it doesn't matter. You're able to be an individual around me. We don't have to be one in that sense. But to me, I'd like to know the things that you're into. Not so much I don't want you to be into what I'm into. To me, it's not necessary. The Hulk, like me being a big fan of the Hulk, you don't have to get into Hulk comics unless it's an interest to you. If it's an interest to you, sure. But as far as like trying to do it because of me, nah. I ain't for it. I would rather you just be an individual. Tell me how you feel about shit, things that you're into. Not everything you like I might be into. You know what I mean? Like there's like, I'll say if there's a concert of some sort and I can stomach the the experience, like can go into something and I do it just to experience it with you, but not me trying to pretend like I'm the biggest fan of this shit. That to me, I don't want that. I wouldn't want that for me. And because I don't, like I said, I'm not attached to shit like that. I mean, there's having experiences, but there's no fantasy anymore when it comes to entertainment, right? I don't have that attachment to seeing Ninja Turtles in concert like I did when I was 6. So I'm not 6. Or going to see New Edition in concert. Sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, if tickets were bought for that, like essentially like an event, like an occasion or something, sure. But wanting to know all of New Edition's albums is not necessary. You're not into it. I am. I'm not going to, like, for the Swifties that are out there, if the girl is into fucking Taylor Swift, I'm not following Taylor Swift. It's not happening. I'm tired of seeing her ass on the football screen, if I'm being honest. I love her career, and I think that's great. Has nothing to do with football, though. Like, 20 damn looks to Taylor during a Chiefs football game is undamn necessary. But I digress. But in all seriousness, like, I'm just not into that shit. Like, I get it to show, like, you don't have to take on my hobbies. You don't have to take on being into comics, being into music the way that I am. We all have our music preferences of some sort. I don't expect you to be into classical and like Gregorian chant music the way that I am. It's not for everybody, and that's okay. It's called preferences. Like, we all have our preferences that we want to do, that we want to watch, the things that we want to listen to. Those just happen to be mine, but you don't have to take it on. I mean, if you develop an interest into it on your own, by all means, that's well and good, but not on my account. I'm not that important, in my opinion. I'm only human. That's it. I don't want special treatment. I don't. Just treat me human. That's it. So, as far as the hobbies I'm into, you know, like I said, sitting, like wanting to sit through a football game, because that's an experience in itself, to go to a football game. Don't do it and try to become a football historian while going through the experience, because that just comes off inauthentic, and you don't have to do that. You can just be you, play on your little ass phone, read a book, you know, do a word search, whatever the fuck you do, or just, you know, be entertained by the surroundings, because football games bring out some of the funniest personalities in the world, and when they come together, especially when liquor's involved and alcohol's involved. But yeah, it's the game itself is just, it's background noise compared to being in the stadium or tailgating. That's what it's really. It's literally like it's like a cookout. You know, it's literally like a cookout prior to the game starting. And by the time the game starts, you well and lit. At least we tend to be. Me, the fellas that, you know, whenever we do go to football games, we tend to be. Well, at least I was. Yeah, I was good and lit the last time we went to the. I think it was the Niners and the Niners and the Bucks playing. I was feeling pretty good in Tampa that day, but it was a good time, and just being with those that I value, my brothers, and very grateful for them, you know, and to be able to call them brother. But like, as far as a girl that's trying to essentially impress me by taking on my hobbies, it's not necessary. I like to know what you're into, though. You know what I'm saying? And in a sense of doing it to an extreme, and what I mean by that is like an extreme level of trying to do what I like to do. But of course, like, again, going to a football game or going to a Bulls game or something like that, that's, you know, that's straight. But if you're going to the Bulls game and you're trying to act like you know all of Michael Jordan's shit, his stats and all of that, and you fuck it up, like, it's not necessary. You don't have to do that on my account. But yes, if a girl wanted to, again, try to learn me and want to experience these things with me, I'd be for it. But not the point of being like a super fan about it in a very inauthentic way. I'm just not feeling that shit at all. It's unnecessary. It's all right to just be you. You are enough. You know what I mean? You're enough for me. That's how I see it. But that's the end of it. That's all I got for this topic. So I'm out. Good night, kids.